For a long time, there's been one big question about Samsung's next flagship phones, the Galaxy S26 series. Will they use Snapdragon or Exynos chips? After months of rumors and confusion, we finally have an answer straight from Qualcomm during its latest earnings call. Qualcomm confirmed that it will provide about 75% of the processors used in the Galaxy S26 lineup. This means that most Galaxy S26 models sold around the world will be powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon chip. While a smaller number will use Samsung's own Exynos processor, this clears up a lot of the mystery that had been building for months. Earlier reports suggested Samsung would use its new Exynos 2600 processor widely, as it's built using advanced 2nm gate-all-around technology. Some even claimed that the Galaxy S26 Ultra might launch in some countries with Exynos. But Qualcomm's statement shows that Snapdragon will once again dominate next year's lineup. To understand why this is such big news, let's look back at what happened with the Galaxy S25 series. Samsung's chipmaking division faced major problems producing the Exynos 2500 processor using the 3nm process. The production yield was too low, meaning Samsung couldn't make enough chips for all the phones. Because of this, Samsung had to use Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite chip for every S25 model. No matter the region, that decision cost Samsung around $400 million more than expected, but it guaranteed that every phone performed reliably. It was a smart move for consistency, even though it wasn't ideal for Samsung's long-term plans to rely more on its own chips. Now, Samsung is reportedly in a much better position. Its new 10nm Exynos 2600 chip supposedly has a much higher yield and better performance thanks to the GAA transistor design. This design makes power usage more efficient and reduces heat, leading to smoother performance. If Samsung actually releases this chip next year, the Galaxy S26 could become the first smartphone in the world to feature a 2nm processor, a huge technological step forward, according to performance reports. The Exynos 2600 now performs almost as well as Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. In fact, it's said to outperform Apple's A19 Pro chip in some areas, especially when it comes to AI tasks, where it's reportedly 6 times faster. That's a big improvement from older Exynos chips that often fell behind Snapdragon in both performance and efficiency. Still, Samsung seems to be cautious this time. Qualcomm has made it clear that it expects to provide around 75% of all Galaxy S26 processors. This suggests Samsung will use Snapdragon chips for most global markets, like the US, Canada, and China, while the Exynos version might only be sold in a few regions such as South Korea or parts of Europe. If you buy a Galaxy S26 next year, there's a good chance, roughly 3 out of 4, that your phone will be powered by Snapdragon. Only 1 out of 4 will have the Exynos chip. This approach makes sense for Samsung. Even though the Exynos 2600 is much better than before, Snapdragon still has a stronger reputation around the world. It's known for reliable performance, stable temperatures, and smooth gaming experiences. Samsung likely doesn't want to risk any negative feedback from users if the Exynos chip doesn't perform perfectly in every scenario. But this doesn't mean Samsung is abandoning its own chips. In fact, it shows that Samsung is slowly rebuilding trust in the Exynos brand. If the 2600 performs well and gets good reviews, future phones like the Galaxy S27 or S28 might feature a more balanced split between Exynos and Snapdragon. For Qualcomm, this is a big win. After completely powering the Galaxy S25 series, getting 75% of the Galaxy S26 orders still means billions in revenue and a strong partnership with Samsung. So, in the end, both sides benefit. Samsung continues improving its chip technology, and Qualcomm maintains its dominance in most markets. To sum it up simply, Samsung's Exynos 2600 looks very promising, especially with its new 10nm design and improved AI capabilities. But Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 will still be the main power source for most Galaxy S26 phones. The competition between Snapdragon and Exynos isn't over yet, but for now, Qualcomm is clearly leading the race. And for Samsung fans, the Galaxy S26 lineup will likely deliver the best of both worlds. Snapdragon power for most users and a taste of Exynos innovation for select markets. 2026 is shaping up to be an exciting year for smartphones, and the Galaxy S26 series might just be Samsung's biggest leap yet.